Welcome to A&B Horror Movies. I'm Aaron, and I'm very excited to be joined by Joe Castro today. Joe, welcome.
Hey everybody, how's it going? How's it going, Aaron?
Yes, oh, so well. I'm so excited to chat with you. You are a true talent. Let's see, you are a writer, a producer, a director, an actor, and most notably, you are a brilliant mastermind of special effects, and you've worked on countless films. I can't wait to chat with you today about your very impressive resume. I even have a list of some of the movies that you've worked on, which if you give me a moment, I'm going to run through them all. And I'm sure I've missed some, but I've got the latest Ed Kemper, Name the Demon, Potter Noster and the Mission of Light, H.P. Lovecraft's The Old Ones, Mutilator 2, Big Freaking Rat, The Barn 2, Xenophobia, Lake Michigan Monster, Robot Dracula. I know that's an upcoming project of yours. If we have time, I've got a couple of questions for you about that. Unspeakable Beyond the Wall of Sleep, Terror Toons Quadrilogy. I have the box set right here. Oh, it's so awesome. Blood Feast 2, All You Can Eat, and Exorcism at 60,000 Feet, just to name a few. I know I left a lot off the list, but wow, very impressive. Thank you so much for chatting with me today.
Thanks for having me on the show, Aaron, and thank you for that beautiful introduction. Yeah, that's awesome. I
Yeah,
appreciate
yeah,
that.
yeah.
I'm a little humbled here that you read off
Ah,
all that. Thank you for that beautiful introduction, man.
you're very welcome. Well deserved. Let's see. Before we get into some of your specific films, I had some sort of general questions for you to kick things off. And the first one is, how do you decide what projects or films to take on? Is it, do you get a script and you read through it, or is it because you've worked with someone in the past and regardless of what the movie is, you're going to work with them again? What's sort of the process that you go through?
Ooh, that's a great question. There's two answers to that question.
Yeah.
One that pays me my rate. No, that's a good way to answer how
Okay.
what film I choose.
Fair
But no,
enough.
ultimately, I like to work on movies that challenge me to do something I've never done before. If you have a movie, then you're asking me to do something that I've never done before, or that has never been done before, and you don't have like my full rate or my the right budget.
Yeah.
I will be really inclined to work with you on it because that's kind of my thing. My thing is like to do
Mhm.
things that are truly original. Like I mean, I'll be the first to say like a lot of my techniques are very homemade and like homegrown. I'm a
Mhm.
self-taught special effects artist. I have studied with a couple of really well-known industry professionals over the years. I've worked
Mhm.
with studied with Rob Berman from the Berman Empire. His father was Tom Berman, who did like all the amazing movies from the 70s and 80s that we love. He did like the Invasion of the Body Snatchers with
Oh my
Kiefer
God.
Sutherland's father, yeah, Donald
Yeah.
Sutherland.
Yes.
He
Jeff
did like yeah,
Goldblum.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And then
Yes.
I love all the special effects in that film. He did like Cat People, The Beast Within, One Dark
Oh my
Night. I
gosh.
guess I could go on and on and on. But anyways, and also, Rob also worked on the remake
Mhm.
of John Carpenter's remake of The Thing. Anyways, so I've studied with him. He's like one of my biggest and most impactful mentors. I've also studied with Brian Wade, who also worked on
Oh my
John
gosh.
Carpenter's remake of The Thing and
Yes.
Hellboy
Yes.
and all these amazing movies. He's an amazing sculptor, Don Lanning, and
Mhm.
but yeah. So, back to your original question, which one did I pick? Back then, we always try to do things that were truly original. That was
Yes.
the thing. And so,
Mhm.
yeah, if you got something that's truly original and I've never done it before, sign me up. And also, if you give me a part in the film, I'll be really inclined to work on your movie because I'm like trying to pursue a career in acting as well.
Yes. Oh yeah, yeah. Like in Ed Kemper, you play the devil, which is so good, but I don't want to get ahead of myself. So you mentioned that you are a self-taught special effects person. How did you get into special effects? Was it just something that you stumbled upon and you're like, oh my God, I love this? What
That's
was the yeah,
That's a
go ahead.
great question. How did I get into this? And to be honest
Yeah,
with you, I have the answer because it's been asked many a
I'm
time over
sure.
the years.
Yes.
And
Yes.
the answer is very, very simple.
Hmm.
One day, I grew up on a goat ranch in South Texas in the 70s, and
Okay.
I had an older brother, both my parents, and one day my brother and my mother were gone for the weekend, and I was there with my father, and my father was he was very supportive of me. He was very encouraging, and he
Mhm.
knew what I liked. He paid attention to me as a child, and he knew I liked dragons and dinosaurs. It's my favorite two things growing up, right?
Fantastic.
Any little boy, right? What did any little boy like?
Of course.
Dragons
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
dinosaurs. So
Absolutely.
one day he was on a weekend and everybody was gone except me and him, and he wanted to do
Mhm.
some workout on the ranch. I was 7 years old, and he said, "Son, I want you to stay here and I want you to watch this movie on TV." It was a Saturday afternoon. It was 1 p.m. I remember it like it was yesterday. And he said, "Sit here and watch this." And he literally pulled a chair in the middle of the living room. It wasn't even the couch. It was like closer to the TV, right? He said, "Sit
Yeah.
here
Yeah.
and watch this. You're gonna like it. I'll be back in a couple hours." And it was Godzilla versus the Smog Monster. And
Oh, nice.
it was the first time I had ever sat down and watched a movie all by myself. I was a big boy. I was 7 years old, and
Yeah. Yeah.
this was amazing. I never experienced anything like that before in my life. And then when it was over, he came inside, and before the credits were rolling, and as the credits started to roll, I said, "Dad, how do they do that? What is that? How do they do all the monsters and stuff?" And he said, "Son, look." And then we looked at the credits together. He said, "That's special effects." And he pointed at the at the screen, and he when it was rolling, and he said,
That's
"See where it says
awesome.
special effects?" And I said,
Yeah.
"That's what I want to do. That's it right there." I was 7 years old. Yeah,
That's amazing.
that's where it all
Wow.
began. That's where it all began. And then
Wow.
oh, then after that, I just slowly
Mhm.
began, like literally seeking information that would then take me to do this. I mean, like I think within a year, I took
Mhm.
a class in the city because it was close to San Antonio, of
Okay.
how to make puppets and like photograph them with a video camera. And then from that class, uh, I went to I met a cousin of mine
Mhm.
who was a twin, a fraternal twin, and he was
Okay.
33 when I was 11. And he was just as interested in horror and sci-fi as I was. And I met him at a family reunion, and we were talking, and came and sat at the kids' table. And we
Yeah.
just started I think we talked for like 6 hours, and then the next weekend I went
Mhm.
over to his house to hang out with him because he didn't work on the weekends, and he had this giant collection just like you have behind you,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it was
Yes.
all pirated VHS movies of horror films. He had like every horror movie ever made, and
Oh my gosh.
this was 1982, and like 1981 or 82. And
Yeah. Right. When.
he had it all on VHS, and then I
Mhm.
actually it must have been 1982 because that's the year we bought the VCR, and this is how I started
Yes.
watching horror movies and whatnot. He bought me a magazine that taught me how to make a rubber mask. Back then there was a magazine called Cinemagic, and it was like a magazine that was produced and edited by people that wanted to make micro budget movies, sci-fi horror kind of related.
Oh.
So
Okay.
yeah, if you can Google it. It's called Cinemagic, and the issue number
All right. I
six
will look it up.
has
Issue number
issue.
six.
I
Yeah.
believe it's issue number six or issue. I believe I want to say it's issue number six.
Okay.
And it gives you step by step instruction of how to make a rubber mask, and that's how I learned how to
Wow.
make my first rubber mask.
What was your first rubber mask? Do you remember?
It was a goat devil. It was like a goat
Mm,
head that had been
makes sense.
decapitated, and it had because I
Yeah.
grew up on a goat ranch, and
Of course. Yeah.
my cousin was like, "Why don't you make a movie called?" Did you ever see that movie, Dr. Butcher, MD?
I don't know, but I know of it. I don't know if
Yeah,
I've seen it. If I have, it's
Dr.
been a
Butcher,
long, long
you
time.
have
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
see it. It's
Yes.
insane. So Dr. Butcher, MD,
I
and the
think I
MD
own it but somewhere over here.
the MD stand. You know what the MD stands for?
I do not.
Stands for medical deviate.
Oh,
Most
okay.
people
Mm,
don't notice that. Yeah, medical deviate. And so
butcher.
yeah, Dr. Butcher MD medical deviate. And it's kind of like a Italian, Spanish zombie cannibal film, and it's very graphic. And so he's like,
Mm,
why don't you make a uh uh what he said, the goat devil, yeah, GD, Slaughterhouse GD is what he made, the goat devil. And
yes.
so I made like a goat head mask,
Oh
and
my gosh. And
there's a lot of traumatizing stuff behind that, though. I won't get into on your show,
okay,
but
okay.
yeah,
Well,
yeah,
the
yeah,
rest is history. I think it's
yes.
fantastic that you had the calling, I guess I would say, at a very, very young age. I do have a couple more questions before we get
Go
into
for
the
it.
specific films. Can you describe your creative process and what your studio is like now when you are working on effects, especially if it's something that you haven't done before? You said that's what's most appealing. How
Yeah.
do you sort of tackle a new project?
How do I tackle a new project? Well, over the years, if you want to give you the like actual breakdown of like how I go about keying a special effects show,
Sure.
everybody's got their own thing.
Yeah.
Work closely with the director, basically. I'd like
Okay.
to do a Zoom phone call with the director, talk with them specifically about what the details are, try to get into their mind and try to extract what they see and then, produce it, as a special effects artist. But ultimately, I
Mm,
always try to put my own personal touch, trying to create something that's truly original. A lot of times I work with directors, and if I give them exactly what they want, they're disappointed, because
mm,
they really don't know what they want until they see it. So
yes.
some of the best directors I work with, they're like, Joe, do your thing, and then they're always, very pleased with what they get. So
Giving you
yeah,
that sort of freedom, right? Putting
yes.
trust in you, but also in a
Well, yeah,
collaborative way.
yeah, they've seen what I've done. So, why would you hire someone with 44 years experience and then
Yes.
micromanage them to do what you want, only to get something that you already know, as opposed to
Mhm.
coming up with something that's truly original and being a team player on your team, if that makes sense.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Um, Before we get to Terror Tunes, is there, or I guess I would say, what's the craziest effect that you've ever worked on? What's the most insane one that perhaps you're even most proud of?
Yeah, each time I do something new and truly original, that thing becomes the newest thing.
The next
Yeah,
thing.
the
Oh,
next
yeah,
thing.
of course.
I can't. I just did something, but I'm not allowed to talk about it.
Oh, okay.
It's just like it's kind of groundbreaking. I've never seen it done before. And it's coming up
Oh,
in a new. It's in a new movie titled Unarmed. It's an action
okay.
film, yeah, and it was shot. Carmelo was the director. He shot it up in Chicago. I just worked with him again. Carmelo Chimera, and
Oh,
yeah, and his brother Nick
yes.
Chimera, yeah. And it's called Unarmed. And I offered to create something that wasn't even scripted or even budgeted or even asked
Hmm.
for. I said, why don't we try doing this? And they're like, what? And I'm like, yeah, why don't we do this? Because this has never been
Yeah,
done
yeah.
before in an action
Hmm.
film. Would you like to try it? And they're like, yes, let's do it. And so it's that kind of stuff, I mean, I've done all kinds of crazy stuff over the years. Some people may think
Hmm.
one thing is crazy and then not as crazy to another person, but ultimately, yeah, I mean, I've done some pretty strange things. One time
Hmm.
I wanted to do a scene where my face was burned. I played a character in a film called The Summer of Massacre, which actually has the Guinness Book of World Record for the highest body count in a slasher movie. Most people
Oh
don't
my
realize.
God.
Yeah, most people don't
That's
realize it.
fantastic.
Yeah,
Wow.
my husband of 27 years, Steven Escobar, and
Yeah, yeah.
we have the Guinness Book of World Record for the highest body count in a slasher movie.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And no one else can say that.
That's right. That's right. So
At this
yeah,
time, right? No
yeah,
one
yeah.
else can
No,
say
no.
that.
And so
Mhm.
in that film, I play a killer in the film, and I'm supposed to be burned like all over my body. And
Okay.
to achieve that, I super glued my lip to my chin, so it looked like I had no lower lip
Oh
in the
my gosh.
film, and I put the makeup on around that. Yeah, does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean,
Can you picture that?
did you have to go to the ER afterward
No,
to get
no,
it
no, no,
peeled
no,
off?
no, 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 no,
Any
no, no, no.
scarring?
No, no scarring. Yeah, yeah. Because you know how like burn victims like they don't have lips and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Eeh.
So I super glued my. I took
No.
the super glue and I pulled it down and then I zip kicked it with with the kicker,
Yeah.
and that was the only
Oh
part
my
that hurt.
God.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
That's dedication.
yeah, yeah,
Damn.
yeah. Well, back in the day, Lon Chaney Sr., who was like one of
Hmm.
the greatest special effects makeup artists ever, he was the first. He did all the, the he did Phantom of the Opera and
Yeah,
The
yeah,
Man of a
yeah.
Thousand Faces and this sort of thing.
Hmm.
He did all kinds of crazy stuff. He would put wires in his nose to like make his nose turn upwards like piggish, and yeah, that's how he did the Phantom of the Opera. He stuck wires in his nose so it
To
was like
give
this.
that
Yeah, yeah,
effect.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and he would do all kinds
Oh
of
my.
crazy things. So yeah, I mean, this is not
Mhm.
uncalled. This is not unheard of for somebody to do something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, okay. I guess I'm trying to think how would I react to doing that, but I guess it's the price to pay, right? And
Right.
then I'm sure it paid off. Well, speaking of Carmelo Chimera, let's talk a little bit about Name the Demon, and then we'll come back to Terror Tunes. Let's see, you act as a priest in that film, and you also worked on the effects that are unreal. I mean, it's a real-time found footage horror, and we did chat with Carmelo about a year ago about it, and that's awesome that you're doing another film with him. But my question is, what was it like acting in that film? You do have a small part in the beginning, and then what was it like bringing the effects together in a real-time horror film?
Yes, that's a great question. Well, when the idea once again was presented to me by Carmelo that they were going to
Mhm.
do like a one take film, I hadn't done. I actually, well, actually, I have done a found footage film. I made a movie back in 1997 with my husband called "The Legend of the Chupacabra," and we shot it in South Texas on my family's goat ranch. And
Makes sense.
we actually produced the film the same year that the Blair Witch Project was being produced. So our films came out at the same time, but my film was swept under the rug. No one really knew about it, because
Mm.
Blair Witch got all the attention when it came out. Anyways,
Oh,
so
that's too bad.
I had done a film like this before, but I hadn't done it in a way where it was supposed to be one shot. So all the effects were supposed to be like kind of like seamless. If someone
Yes,
got killed, it had to be done in a way where it actually just appeared on camera.
just
And
keeps
yeah,
rolling.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
exactly.
yeah. So
Yeah.
there was a lot of interesting challenges, and then it was great to have a small role in the film in a way where I
Mhm.
could, you kind of put a face to the person who does the effects. You read people's
Yes.
names in films and who did the effects, and it's that person, but you don't. There's no real face to them, to the unsung
Mhm.
heroes. I mean, you see
Mhm.
the monster on the movie poster, but you don't know who made it. The director gets the credit.
Oh, for sure.
The producers get the credit, and everybody else gets the credit. The movie star gets the credit for being in the film, but no one's
Mhm.
going to see Name the Demon for anything other than the demon.
Of course, yes.
It's like going to see The Mutilator 2 for
Right.
someone's performance in the film. No one's gonna go see it because of, I
Oh, of
mean,
course.
I'm just saying,
Well,
all the
yes.
actors, whether they have credits or not, are all on the movie poster, but no special effects artists. Anyway, but that wasn't the
Mm.
case. Carmelo was very kind and generous with me. He always mentions me. He gave me a role in the film, allowed me to really, really shine when it came to the effects, and I'm always very grateful and very, very
Yeah.
humbled that people allowed me to do that.
Yeah, he's amazing. And for what it's worth, I think you nailed it, the part that you did have. And the
Thank you. I
effects in
appreciate
that
that.
are fantastic once
Thank you.
the possession really gets amped up. Nicely done. I have nothing but praise to say for
Thank you.
that. So I keep talking about it. Let's go to Terror Tunes. Like I said, I have the quadrilogy
The
box set right
quadrilogy.
here. Fantastic artwork on this all around. And
My husband, I gotta kudos to my husband. He put that whole
yes.
box set together for us so we could all enjoy it. Yeah, he did all that artwork and everything. He produced,
Oh, I love
put
it.
it
And
all
all
together. Yeah,
yeah, the inside, like the cover art.
yeah, he did all that. Yeah, 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 yeah,
Well,
yeah, yeah.
please tell him that I love it. I'm a fan. And as you can see,
Steve
I
Aaron says he
purchased
loves
the
it
box
and
set.
he's a big fan. Yeah,
Oh, he's right there.
yeah, he's
Congratulations,
on the
Steve.
couch.
I think
Yeah,
it's awesome. Um, so these films, the Terror Toons films, are like nothing that's out there. I can't think of anything that compares to them. They're sort of quirky, comedic. The artistry of all of them is just unbelievable. Can you
thank
talk
you.
a little bit about how you're welcome? Can you talk a little bit about how the Terror Toons films came about? Maybe starting with the first one.
Yes, that's a great. Yes, I can talk about that. So the first Terror Tunes
Mhm.
was basically how it came about was a friend of mine and I were driving to a movie set actually to shoot The Passion of the Christ. and we were shooting another version of the Passion of the Christ for
Okay, okay.
a production that was doing it for like a religious channel.
I
And
see.
we were going to do special effects on the person playing Jesus as if they were really bloody. And we were driving to set together and had some music playing. And we saw this sticker of this evil cartoon cat on the back of this car in front of us. And we're like, hey, you know what they've never done? They've never done a slasher movie where the killer is a cartoon. And I'm like, no, they haven't. And then one of us just said, and what about if when they kill you with giant cartoon weapons? I'm like, yeah. And then the other one said, and what about, but when you die for real, like really bloody.
Hmm.
And that's never
Hmm.
been done before. And I looked over at my friend and I said, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna make it happen. And my friend said, okay, but I want to make the characters' faces and I want to do
Hmm.
that part. I said, okay, you can make the character, but I want to produce it. And then like
Yeah.
within a month we started shooting it. And what happened was the reason why most people don't realize it,
Just
but
want to
this movie,
show it.
yeah,
Yeah.
that movie was shot in 3 days for $2,300, the whole movie.
Wow.
And the reason why it was done that way was because back in the 50s and 60s, when they had drive-in creature features and horror movies,
Yeah, sure, sure.
they would shoot a whole movie in 3 days. It was standard. And what they would do is they would shoot the
Mm.
first 33 pages on the first day, and they shoot the next 33 pages on the second day. And on the last day, the monster would die, and they shoot the last 33 pages. And like the writer of the
Makes
film
sense.
wouldn't even, excuse me, the writer of the film wouldn't even have the script finished before they started rolling. He would give them the first 33, and they'd start, and he'd be like writing the next night, and then he'd bring it over. That's why they're kind of a little long and drawn out.
Yeah,
It's very simpleton, but there's always a
sure.
monster. The monster always dies. There's always a
Hmm.
girl, that shows
Hmm.
some sort of skin, and there's always like,
Hmm.
some general plot. And so I thought to myself, if they can shoot a movie in 3 days back in the 1950s, we can shoot one now. And that's why I did the film that way. It's been done
In,
before. And yeah, yeah.
yeah, I mean, in 3 days. Wow, that's impressive. What was the post-production like? Because there's a lot of animation. There's a lot of,
It did take 11
how long
months.
did I
Yeah.
suspect that took more than
Yeah.
3 days?
It took Steve 11 months to put it all together. And
I
basically
bet. Yeah.
what happened was Steve, this is 2001, 2000,
Hmm.
2001 when
Hmm.
we made it.
Yep.
And back in 2001, which is almost 25 years ago, um,
I look at that.
yeah,
Zoom gave
I
you a
would say,
thumbs up.
yeah, After Effects, what do you call it? After Effects wasn't really prolific in the filmmaking world at the time.
Okay,
Right?
I
Yeah,
see.
no one really knew about it.
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
people weren't using it like, they use like Facebook. But people, a lot,
sure.
like now I think they teach After Effects in like high school. So my point was that
Hmm.
Steve taught himself how to use After Effects in order to produce that film.
Okay.
And he post production and produced that all of that for us. So that way
Mm.
we have the movie that we have now. But it took him 11 months to put it all together and to teach himself how to do that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's fantastic. I just
Yeah.
rewatched it the other night. It's a lot of
Oh, wow.
fun. Um, yeah, charming, fun.
Yeah,
And
that,
like I said, it's like nothing I've ever seen. So,
yeah, that's interesting that you say that because every time
mhm.
there's something out there that's a little like Terror Tunes, you can tell that Terror Tunes influenced them, It is. It's kind of like a
Oh
very unique,
yeah.
one of a kind thing. I know some people kind of compare it to Itchy and Scratchy.
Hmm.
Some people kind of compare it, but most people don't know this, but one of the producers of The Simpsons purchased a copy of it directly from us.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool.
You know what I'm saying? So, and sometimes we'll like see it. We'll like, oh, wait, who's this? Where's this address? Oh, it's right here in Hollywood. Who is this ordering the copy? Oh, it's so and so from this production company. Yeah.
Oh my
Anyway,
gosh.
yeah. So I know it has influenced many people, but a lot of people don't
Yeah.
realize
Hmm.
the week before we shot the movie, I hadn't really cast it yet. Like I hadn't officially cast the film. And so
Okay.
I did like a table read and brought everybody in that wanted to be in the film and I was going to cast it. And everybody that showed up, it was just the right amount of people to actually make the film. So everybody got the part. That was it. That's the way it was done. And I was like,
I've got good news, everyone. You're in.
I was like, okay, we're making this movie for 25, was actually supposed to be $2,500. We're making this movie for
Okay.
$2,500, so I can't pay you today to act in the film, but none of you have feature film credits. So if you come and shoot this movie on a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, by Monday morning, you will have your first feature film credit. and they
Yeah.
all were like, "Yay, sign me up!" And at the time, it was much more difficult to
Mhm.
be in a feature film, especially a feature film that got distribution. So
Yes.
everybody was very, adamant about it. It was very, they all wanted to sign up to do it. So I was very
Yeah.
grateful for it.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
then
that's
each,
awesome.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I mean, one last shout out to the box set, especially if you're watching and you are a physical media guy like me. Make sure to get a copy of this box set. I do want to ask you about the fourth Terror Tunes because it's told in like an anthology format and it has some horror legends, including Linnea Quigley, Brinke Stevens, William Butler, and Debbie Rochon, just to name a few. And so my question is, how did Toonie Terrors 4 come about, and what was it like working with those horror legends?
That's a great question.
Terror Tunes, I'm sorry, I get
Yeah,
the Toonie, I collect the Toonie Terrors, Terror Tunes.
yeah, yeah. So Brink it was in part two, three, and four,
Of
and
course,
yeah,
yes.
and when we got to part four, well, yeah, and also most people don't realize this, but as I made each film, I wanted to make sure I didn't make the same movie twice.
Yeah.
Each film has its own different little cult following, different level of cult following.
Yes.
People that first saw part two, they have their love of that one, and then they go back and watch part one. They're kind of two different films. The
Mm,
first film is a little darker. The second one's a little lighter. The third one is very strange, and the fourth one, like you said, is an anthology film. And
yeah.
Brink, when it came time to shoot part four, we had planned on shooting part three, four, and five all together. And yeah, we were going to do them all together. And what
Okay.
happened was I asked Brink if she wanted to direct a portion of it because no one had ever. Brink has over 200 feature film credits. I think
Oh,
it's
yeah.
I think it's
Unbelievable.
I think
Yeah.
it's moving up to like 250 now. But
Hmm.
I'm thinking, why hasn't anybody asked this amazing, talented woman to direct a movie yet? She has so much experience. So I
Hmm.
asked Brink. I said, Brink, will you write and direct and star in a portion of Terror Tunes 4? And she said, absolutely. And I was just over the moon for that. And so she writes, directs, stars in, and helps us
Hmm.
produce part of Terror Tunes 4. And she brought in Billy Butler, Linnea Quigley, and Debbie Rochon to be in the portion of the film she directed. It's such a classic
Yes.
piece. Most people don't
Oh,
realize
oh, sure.
how an amazing piece of cinema that she produced. It's a lovely
Hmm.
piece, and I'm so honored and grateful to have it in Terror Tunes 4. If not for the cartoon stuff, you could just watch it for Brink's part of the film. You really
Definitely.
get an eyeful. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I just rewatched the other night. Well, okay. Congratulations on Terror Tunes, and apologies for saying Toonie Terrors. I
Oh
love
no,
the
that's
Toonie
okay.
Terror collectibles. I'm sure you're familiar with them. I have stacks of them over here. Um, let's move on to a newer film of yours, which is Ed Kemper, directed by Chad Farron, and you play the devil in this, and you also did all of the effects and makeup, and it's basically a telling of Ed Kemper, the serial killer that most people are familiar with. Brandon Kirk was fantastic as the lead,
Yes,
but
he
my
is.
question for you is, and Brinke Stevens is in this one as well.
She's yes.
Um, what was it like doing the makeup and effects for Ed Kemper? There's severed heads, limbs cut off, torsos. It's pretty gruesome, and very serious. Like it's very different tone from like the Terror Tunes that we were just
Oh
talking
yeah.
about. Okay, I'll stop talking. What was it like working on Ed Kemper? I just watched it this morning. It's a fantastic film.
Yeah, Ed Kemper is like probably like if not it's number one or number two of the movies I'm most proud of working on. And working with Chad
Yeah.
Farron has been an amazing
Hmm.
once in a lifetime experience. Each film we make, he just brings his craft to a new level, and
Yeah.
he knows that. I care about him and care about his projects very deeply. But working on Ed Kemper is a true to life depiction of the serial
Hmm.
killer Ed Kemper presented in a true crime slasher movie, basically. So you get like all of the gore and kills that you normally wouldn't get from like LA Law or what it's called Law and Order or
Yes,
CSI
yes.
or any of those crime shows.
Any of those,
Yeah,
yes.
have you ever watched that TV series, The Forensic Files,
I
where they
believe so.
where
Yeah.
they where they kind of
Go ahead.
reenact true crime stuff, and then they show
Yes,
how they catch
of
the
course.
killer.
Hmm.
It's that true to life experience. I love that show. I watch that show like like someone would watch The Simpsons. Anyways, because I studied,
That's your go-to. That's
yeah,
your
it's
comfort
like a
show.
absolutely, it's like a very intense, detailed study of like blood splattering, blood dropping,
Mm.
decapitation, how to determine how long a body's been dead, this sort of thing. And
Yeah, yeah,
like
yeah.
most people don't realize that when people get shot in the head with a gun, if a
Hmm.
bullet goes into your temple but comes out the back of your head, especially if
Hmm.
it's a small like 22 caliber gun, you have a very high probability of living. That's because it didn't damage any of the other organs because your brain's made up of all these different other things.
Right, right.
When people die from a gunshot wound to the head, it's because the force of the bullet wasn't strong enough to go through the head entirely, and so it stops at the back of your skull and it ricochets around and it makes turns your
Yes.
brain into mush. And
Yes.
people don't realize that. So
Mm.
these are the kind of things that Chad and I discuss to bring about on camera for his films.
Mm.
And that's what makes his films so truly unique. Once again,
Oh
here's
my
a man
gosh.
who has
Yeah.
studied movies from the 80s. And so it's just a dream come true working with Chad. I can present to Chad an idea of how to execute an effect to get the most graphic impact and still be visually
Hmm.
cinematic, which is something
Hmm.
that people I think have lost the conscious act of doing when they're making special effects these days. People think that pouring
Okay.
blood on something is a special effect. It's not. You see people covered in blood, that's not a special effect. It's
Mm.
just a puppet, like what do you call it? A Xerox copy of something that they saw from previous times that they are trying to reproduce to,
Yeah, they're
you
not
know,
trying to
do
something
anything.
new,
Yeah,
right?
or
Yeah, sure.
it's not effective because it's if anybody
Hmm.
can do it, then it's not really effective, Oh, that's how
Mm.
they do this. Oh, that's how they do that. So whenever I'm, tackling an effect, especially for Chad, I'm trying to bring something to his film that's never been done before with his kill.
Hmm.
Yeah. So
Hmm.
yeah, it's a like I said, a dream come true. And then I'm always like, Chad, put me in, coach, put me in. I want to. But when I read the script, when I read Ed Kemper, Ed Kemper discusses in actual video interviews. So the man is still alive, the true serial killer.
I looked that up. Yeah, he's
Yeah, and
76. Yeah.
yeah, and so he in interviews he talks about being locked in his mother's basement as a child for punishment, and there was a
Yeah.
wood burning furnace in the basement, and he said he would stare at it, and the devil would talk to him through the wood burning furnace and tell him to kill people, and
And you play the devil.
I play the devil in the film. I said when I read the script, I said, Chad, I got to play the devil. I'll do it, but I got to play the devil. He goes, you got it. So that's how that came about.
I
Yeah.
love that. And going into the film, like I said, I just watched it this morning. I knew that you played the devil, but I didn't know in what context. And some of the lines you deliver are not easy to say.
They're
Like,
not. He
oh
would.
my gosh.
They're not easy to say at all. And I was staring. There was like a 13-year-old child standing in front of me when I said those lines. So
Yes. Oh
yeah,
my
yeah.
gosh.
So
Things
so
that you never want
yeah.
to think about, but
Or yeah,
you
yeah.
delivered them flawlessly.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about Unspeakable Beyond the Wall of Sleep, because also directed by Chad Farron. Um, I don't even know what to call the monster in this. It's like a head face sucking monster.
Worm, like
How did?
part worm, part man. Yeah, it's an H.P. Lovecraft inspired film, and
Okay, okay. Well,
yeah,
that
it's
makes
also one of my
sense. Yeah.
very favorite movies that I've worked on. And it's kind of
And
I think
Edward
Chad.
Furlong Lee is the lead. Go
Oh,
ahead, please.
Edward Furlong was amazing to work with. I mean,
Yeah.
and I know he's had his challenges in the past, but I mean, he's literally one of the most kindest men I've ever engaged with. He was such a
Yeah.
kind man
Oh,
to
that's
me,
nice to hear. Yeah.
and he kind of, there's certain people throughout your life that you've heard the phrase, you will not be remembered for your accomplishments, but for the way that you make other people feel.
Mhm.
And like Edward,
Very powerful. Yeah.
literally, Edward made me feel a way that I have never felt before as an artist, as an industry professional, as a fellow man. And I will never forget the amazing way he
Mm.
made me feel. And because of that, I have nothing but kind words to say to him.
Oh, wow.
And yeah,
Wow.
and also he's a great actor. He's so fun to
Oh,
watch him
he's
act.
so good.
He's a great actor. He
And
totally
it's
nailed. nailed it. He totally
Yeah,
nailed it.
yeah.
But my
And
favorite,
some of
my
his
yeah,
deadpan comedy is
yeah,
perfect.
my favorite thing he did in the film was there's a scene
Yeah.
where this guy is in a jail cell and he
Hmm.
stands up and reveals that his penis has been chopped off and it's just this
It's
scarry nub.
gone.
It's gone. It's
Yes.
this nub. And Edward
Hmm.
goes, "Oh, that's enough. That's it. I don't need to see it anymore." The way he says, "Okay, that's enough."
I'm done.
Yeah, I'm done. I don't need to see that. I don't, yeah. He's interviewing the guy, and just the way that Edward delivers that is
Yes.
just priceless. Like that's exactly how
Hmm.
someone would be like, "All right,
That's enough here.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Oh
enough. Okay,
yeah.
I've had enough. Okay, that's it."
That's I mean that the effect there and the head there's a head that gets sucked
That
into a
that
garbage disposal
no,
and
that was also I got to give kudos to that was Brandon Kirk that played that character wearing that makeup where his face has been bashed in and now it's all scarred over and he's living as this Nazi serial killer in prison and
oh
who got
really?
that's Brandon Kirk wearing
I
all that
didn't
makeup.
even
Yeah.
notice.
Yeah,
Wow.
Brandon is such a an amazing, talented, transformative actor. He just jumps into all these different roles. But that's Brandon did that. Yeah,
Oh man,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
cool. I had
yeah.
no idea.
I,
Um,
I remember when we were doing those scenes that Edward had to look over at Brandon wearing all that makeup and Brandon's just like pouring his heart and soul delivering the performance and then they were shooting Edward first and by the time the camera turned
yeah.
around to get Brandon the makeup was coming off or whatever and Edward was so concerned about how he wanted the movie to be amazing. He said, "Should we
Mhm.
stop and fix the makeup? Like I can see where it's coming off." And I turned to Edward and I said, I trust me, I promise you, I will fix it. I will
You
fix it
can
in
fix
post.
that
I'll fix
in
that in post.
post.
It's
Yeah.
all good. It's all good. And
Yeah.
not only did that little mistake or whatever you want to call it,
Mm.
not only was it fixed,
I
but
didn't notice, but yeah.
not only was it fixed, but the fact that that happened gave us an opportunity to make it even better if we hadn't fixed it because I was able to
Mm.
do some new cool things onto it that I didn't even do on set. So that's what we do. That's what we do here. That's what we do with Chad's Films. We take something, it's an opportunity, it's not a problem, and we make it into something that's even more amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's amazing. And I can't wait to see what he does next. Very talented director, and I'm glad that you are working and collaborating with
I
him.
don't even know if I answered the question about the snake, the worm man creature monster thing.
Yeah, I said, what is? Yeah,
Yeah,
let's talk about that some more. What is it?
it's just this giant bizarre if
Yeah.
you've ever Googled any of H.P. Lovecraft's creatures,
Mm.
some of them are very surreal, very magical. It's kind of like cosmic horror is what it's considered, and
Yes.
I kind of designed this half man, half worm thing. Chad told me that he wanted the monster to be able to engulf someone's head, and so I made a big enough mouth on it, but just kind of this weird kind of David Cronenberg kind of creature kind of thing. David
Yeah.
Cronenberg, all his work is always very inspiring to me.
It's
Very
yeah.
Videodrome-ish kind of weird thing happening. Yeah, yeah. So
Yes, yes. Oh man, that when that monster shows up in the film, I was like, what is this? Um, and that's why I was like, I don't even know what to call it. Oh, and I wanted to point out that I noticed you even appear as a crazed patient. So you do have a cameo
did
in
I oh yeah, yeah, that's
in
right,
Unspeakable Beyond the
that's
Wall
right,
of Sleep.
that's
When I
right.
was
Yeah,
watching it, I was like, oh
yeah.
my God, there's Joe again.
Yeah, that's right. I was like, do I remember being that? Oh yeah. I'm running down the hallway.
Yeah,
Yeah,
running down the
yeah.
hallway with a few
Yeah.
other patients there. Um,
'Cause
let's see.
Chad was very specific about what kind of face he wanted to see. And he even gave
Mhm.
us an example. He's like, and so I just once again, trying to go into Chad's mind and pull out what's there and then put it in front of camera for him. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh man, that's awesome. Let's see. I have sort of a question about effects and other films. What is one film that you didn't work on that you were most impressed with the effects and you wish you could have been a part of
Oh,
that movie?
that's an easy
Easy
question.
one. Yeah.
Easy peasy.
I'm curious to see what you'll say.
The one that
The
got
one that
away.
got away. Yeah.
There's a new movie that just came out last year, and it's called,
Mhm,
I'm going to pimp this because these men are so talented. It's called
mhm.
Hundreds of Beavers. Hundreds of Beavers. If you haven't seen it,
Okay,
you have to see it.
I have not.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's an
I'm gonna
amazing
write it
film,
down right
and
now.
it stars Ryland, and I forget
Hundreds
Ryan's
of
gonna hate
beavers.
Ryland Twos is his
Okay.
name, and they have an amazing producing team. But if you like Terror Toons, you will love Hundreds of Beavers. And they asked me to work on it, and I passed on it because
Oh, you
I was
passed.
super
Oh,
busy, and it was
yeah.
coming at a time where I just had just this little window, and I didn't want to. I had too much on my plate. If I would have taken it on, I think it would have everything else would have suffered just a little bit, and I just didn't feel like it was
Mhm.
appropriate to do that to the two other films I was obligated to. And
Yeah.
that's the one that got away. Maybe it would have all worked out anyways, you know. But I was so
Hundreds
impressed.
of beavers.
I was so
Okay,
impressed with
I'll
them.
check it out.
Oh yeah, no, it's already like I think I don't know how much they shot the film for, but it's already made back its budget times 10. It has a world tour.
Oh,
it's had a theatrical release. I think it's in the
oh
UK
my
right
God.
now. It might even be in Australia, and it's coming back to the US soon. Yeah.
And is it streaming at the moment, as far as you know?
No, I don't think so. I think it's
No.
only theatrical. Yeah, it's super
Oh, okay.
successful
So
film.
that's why I haven't heard of it yet. Okay, okay.
Hundred,
But I'll look it up. That's
yeah.
amazing. Um, let's see. What are your thoughts on the state of horror today? So you've grown up watching horror. I'm thinking like the 80s where
Yeah,
there were
yeah,
so many horror movies coming out, but it wasn't like it wasn't getting the attention, let's say, as it does, or the respect
yeah,
that
yeah,
horror
yeah,
is getting
yeah.
today. What are your thoughts on sort of what horror is like in 2025?
Well, horror back in the day was, this endless sea of possibilities. And
Hmm.
horror was always fun because it had some sort of supernatural element attached to it. Even
Yeah.
Jason coming back from the dead and, all that stuff. There was always some sort of like magical aspect to horror.
Hmm. Hmm.
Today, I believe that horror is basically, ultimately excuse me, a series of just, Xerox photocopies of things that have been done. And it's very diluted. It's a very diluted pool, of ideas. Um,
Hmm.
and there are a select few that really always kind of catch my attention every once in a while when someone's trying to do something truly original. I really
Yeah,
like that movie Talk to Me. Have you seen Talk to Me?
I did.
Yeah, I
Yes.
really like that
So good.
film. Yeah, it's so
Yeah,
good.
I love
Yeah,
that
they're real
too.
good. Yeah, yeah.
Have you seen
And
Bring Her Back, their second?
I haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen
Okay,
Bring It
okay.
Back yet. Yeah,
That's very
I
good
haven't seen
too.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and stuff like that where they're trying to take this, and that was supernatural. See, it's this little
Hmm.
supernatural edge to it, and the way it's framed using the commentary of it's kind of has like a little bit of racism in there, a little bit of
Yeah.
there's like even like a kind of a drug addiction thing going on, all
Hmm.
these things that we can all relate to today, which makes it really really impressive. Trying to do something truly unique. But
Yeah.
ultimately, the waters of horror today are a very diluted. What do you call it? What is it? What is it? Not interpretation.
Um,
When someone,
c- copies
yeah,
or
yeah. What is it? When someone mimics you, it's the highest form of flattery.
yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
Iterations, maybe.
duplication, just a
Duplication, sure.
copycat
Yeah.
versions of things that have already been done to see if they can do it too, and this sort of thing. And yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it's been that way since the beginning of time, but now because so many people have more access to equipment that allows them to make a film, we see more
Hmm.
of it.
Hmm.
But ultimately, it's always it's like a diamond in the rough when you find something really good these days. Yeah.
Yes, yes. Well, I think that's what's so exciting that about so many horror movies coming out now is that diamond in the rough, finding
Mm.
a film like Talk to Me or well now Hundreds of Beavers that you haven't seen before,
Yeah.
and it's just for horror fans. That's what we live for,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you mentioned those films. Are there any other films that come to mind as standout films from 24 or even this year so far that you
Well,
would give a shout
well,
out to?
yeah, I mean, there's a lot out there. I mean, I really think that Chad Farron's work with that
Absolutely,
Kemper
yeah.
Unspeakable,
Hmm.
he's the man who's doing this. He's the man who's that's his goal. His
Yeah.
literally his goal is to do things that he's forcing audiences to look at things that they've never seen before.
Definitely.
which is like kind of like, like the old like Barker circus freak stuff. Come and see
Mm.
something that you've never seen before,
Yes.
and then people
Yes.
would come, for miles to see these
This,
oddities,
yeah.
and yeah,
Yeah.
that's what Chad does, and
Hmm.
when he frames it around a very a very very a successful genre of true crime or a very
Yeah.
successful genre of horror, but he's going to show you things that you will see things that you've never seen before. Yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Hmm. Agreed. And I think what's most exciting about what he's doing, looking at Ed Kemper and Unspeakable, they're both very different. So that's what I can't wait to see what he does next, right?
Yeah. Oh,
What's
yeah,
next?
yeah,
What's
yeah.
up his sleeve? What's
Yeah,
coming?
yeah.
What's
And
coming?
he's
Yeah.
got some fun stuff coming for sure. Yeah,
Excellent.
yeah.
Excellent. Let's see. Well, this has been amazing. And I do want to get to the this or that segment. But I do have one more question for you, and that is what's next? Can you speak to any upcoming projects that you are allowed to?
Sure, absolutely. So, like I said, we just finished Unarmed. That was shot
Hmm.
up in Chicago with Carmelo
Yes.
and Nick Chimera and his producing team, which
Yep.
is basically kind of a coming of age story about a young man who uses his fighting skills, karate skills to help police
Oh,
solve a crime. And I can't go into any more detail than
very
that,
cool.
but it's loaded with blood, so it's got plenty of blood. It's definitely rated R. And
Count me
then
in.
we got a movie that's coming out this month. Actually, it just came out. It's called Diced, and it's by Nathan and Jeremy Rood. And it was originally
Yes.
shot as like a 50-minute short film. It wasn't really a full feature, but
Hmm.
Chad and his producing team and myself went back and shot an extra 30 minutes of gore and kills and other stuff and put it into the movie.
Hell
So,
yeah.
and then it was just released. So if you want to see some of that stuff, it's called Diced. It just came out. And then we have a
Nice.
movie coming out this month. It's called Dorothea, and it's about a famous serial killer. Her name was Dorothea Puentes, and she was considered I think they call it the death house serial killer. She would have she would have old people come and live at her home boarding house, and she would
Hmm.
murder them and steal their money from the Social Security checks, and she would literally bury them in her front yard under her rose bushes. She killed, I don't know how many people,
And
13,
still
14.
and
Yeah,
still collect the
yeah,
checks.
yeah. That's what she did. That's how she lived.
Oh
She was
gosh.
a horrific killer with no
Yeah.
empathy whatsoever.
Yeah.
And then starting next week, we're shooting a new movie called Sunset Strip Killers, and it's about two other notorious serial killers here that had this brutal murder spree
Oh my
on
gosh.
Sunset Strip here, and it's a Chad Farron film, and I get to be in it. I'm going to do my first nude scene in the film. It's
Oh
coming up.
my.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
coming up, and I'm looking forward to that. And there's a couple of other things in the works that I'm looking forward to coming out. There's a werewolf film coming out called Only 7 Days. I'm not sure when it's going to hit, but I made a really cool kind of a sci-fi werewolf in it. That was the
Nice.
challenge. Because the movie takes place in the future, and so it's supposed to be like a
Okay.
sci-fi werewolf
Hmm.
film. It's an interesting mashup, right? Yeah, yeah.
And what about Robot Dracula? Did I
Robot
mention that?
Dracula is still in the phase of completion post-production. I think James Balsamo's the director, and I worked with
Okay.
him tirelessly on the film. I don't know what he has next for it, but I know he wants to do some
Mhm.
stuff with it, and I am honored to play Robot Dracula in the film. So I'm looking
Yes.
forward to that
Yeah.
happening. Yeah, yeah.
Cool. Cool. Well, Joe, that is all very exciting. Keep me updated on all your films and upcoming projects. I'd love to have you on again to chat about your new films. But before I let you go, like I said, I'm going to do a this or that segment. It's usually kind of fun, and in most cases, there's no right or wrong answer, but we shall see. So the first one I have for you, two films, Reanimator or From Beyond?
Ooh, that's a good question. I'm gonna go with Reanimator because I was old
Mhm.
enough to see Reanimator in the theater when it was first released. I saw
Oh,
it its initial
nice.
release. I
Oh
saw
my
it at
God, on the big screen. That's
yeah,
amazing.
I saw it at
Yeah, yeah.
At the Aztec 3 Cinema in San Antonio,
Mm.
Texas, downtown. I remember watching it and walking out of there going, "Now that's a movie." I think I was 13 years
Yeah.
old when it came out, 13 or 14. Yeah, yeah. My
Gosh,
yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Also, my cousin Eddie, who introduced me
Hmm.
to horror, the one I was telling you about earlier, he would pick me up on weekends and we would go out to we'll go and see all kinds of crazy horror movies. Back then, every movie was released in the theater. Like I actually saw
Yeah.
the Toxic Avenger in the theater when it was released. I
Oh my
saw I
gosh.
saw City of the Living Dead, The Gates of Hell in the movie theater
Yeah.
when it was first released.
Oh
You know,
man.
I saw all these movies in you know, I saw The Evil Dead in the theater when it was first released.
Oh.
I saw the original Creep Show in the theater when it was first
Oh
released.
my
All these
God.
movies. So you know, it was just a different time. So watching a movie in the
Yeah.
theater as a kid, especially movies that were rated R or unrated, you know, your parents had to sign you into the movie to be able to sit there, you know,
Hmm.
and watch like an unrated or rated R film as a minor was a big deal. You know, it was fun. It was fun.
And then they changed that because I tried, it was Nightmare on Elm Street 3. I think I was 12 or 13. My mother took my buddy and I to the theater and they're like, she said they can go in and see it, but I don't want to watch it. And the rules then, I guess what, 87, 88, maybe?
Uh,
They said that she had to go in and watch it with
oh,
us. We
she had to
couldn't
sit there.
go.
Oh, she
We
couldn't sign
couldn't
you
go
in.
in on our own.
Huh. That's strange. Okay.
That's crushing,
Party
crushing.
poopers, party
And then,
poopers.
yeah, we would try to sneak in. I remember trying to
Yeah.
sneak in to see Shocker. Is it Wes
Yeah.
Craven's
Yeah, yeah,
Shocker?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so we bought tickets for, I think it was like Look Who's Talking.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah. And then you
and
go
they
walk and
caught
watch.
us. They
Yeah.
caught us. And so
Of
I had
course.
to go watch
They
Look Who's
they
Talking.
they knew you were up to no good. They could see it in your face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Yes.
When I was 12 years old, my friend
Yeah.
Stephen Schaff was turn when I was 12 years old, my best friend at the time, his name was Stephen
Mhm.
Schaff, and he was turning 13. And for his 13th birthday, I took him to see Creep Show. So I was on a
Oh,
It was a Saturday morning, and
damn.
my mother signed us in, and we went and sat in the front row, a 12-year-old and a 13-year-old. We were the only people in the theater, and we got to watch Creep Show for the first time in its initial release. And we were just laughing
Wow.
we were just having the most amazing time.
That's such a fun
Yeah,
movie.
I'll never
Yeah.
forget that. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and that's one of the movies that I'll buy many editions of. If like
yeah.
a new 4K copy comes out, I will get it. Okay, we could go on and on. Back to this or that. Tom Savini or Sam Winston?
Tom Savini or Stan Winston. Yeah, yeah,
Stan
yes,
Winston. Yes,
yeah. I couldn't pick one or the other. They were both so
I
influential in
thought
my
so.
life.
Yeah,
So, but
yeah.
you know, most people don't realize this, but when I was 12 years old,
Mhm.
if your name was listed in a phone book in the white pages, we used to have an actual book that had everybody's phone number in it. Every city
Of
had it.
course, yeah. I
And
remember. Yeah,
and if
yeah,
your name was listed in that, you could easily be found, you know, found and called, you know, on the phone. So
yeah,
I knew that Tom lived in Pittsburgh, so I called the information number at Pittsburgh, which is, you know, was it 555 1111, or I forget what it was.
yeah. Whatever it was. Sure.
It was the area code, then 555 1111. And they say, "Hello, Pittsburgh operator, how can I help you?" And I say, "May I get the phone number for Mr. Tom Savini?" And then they would give you his phone number, and then you could just call him on the phone. So when I was 12 years old, I used to call Tom Savini on the phone and ask him all kinds of questions. And he
And
sat and
he would
talked with,
talk to you.
he would just
He would
talk to me.
talk with
Yeah,
you.
he would
Oh
talk with
my
me and he's
gosh.
very kind to me. And he actually explained to me over the phone how to use a chemical fire extinguisher to pump blood. He was very kind to me. Yeah, he was very kind back then. So,
Wow.
and then of course, Stan
Oh my
Winston was
gosh.
a
Mind
major,
blown.
yeah. So,
Wow.
Stan Winston was a major influence in my career because
Yeah, for sure.
he was already doing like Aliens and Predator level special effects, even
Yep.
when he was working in micro budget films. He was already
Mhm.
like building mechanical bodies when they would get decapitated. And he was already at that level, even though he was working on films that had no budget at all to do effects. He wanted them to be amazing. And that's why you know, he did what he did. He was always trying to do the biggest and the best and the boldest thing. And you know, I try to do that. Even though I work on micro budget films, I'm always trying to do something amazing with my work. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Work with what you have, and he did Pumpkinhead, right?
Pumpkinhead, yeah,
Yeah,
he directed
yeah,
and
he
did the effects.
directed, and
Yeah.
yeah, okay,
Hmm.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. I want to get through the list here. I've got Dead Alive or Return of the Living Dead from
Ooh,
1985,
ooh,
which
that's a
was
tough one.
released 40 years ago today.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Return of the Living Dead because I saw that
Mm.
movie in the theater when it was released again.
Oh man,
I saw Dead Alive on VHS the first time,
yeah,
an uncut VHS version. But I saw Return of the Living Dead in the theater when it came out, and I remember thinking this is really cool. And I got to see the
that's
sequel
so
too,
good.
part two in the theater when it came out. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then of course
Part two
Linnea,
is fun.
yeah,
Yeah,
part two is fun.
Linnea Quigley,
Li-
yes.
Linnea is one of my close friends, and excuse me, colleagues, and I always support her. Yeah, she's one of those gems. Who
Is a
uses
legend.
she
Yeah.
uses her star power to make other people feel amazing, which is,
Mm.
the appropriate use of star power.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Let's see, horror movie marathon or binge watch a new horror series.
Oh, that's a horror movie marathon. Yeah.
Mm.
I'm kind of like, if I had a chance to, like, put all the toppings on the pizza, I think I would probably mix and match different areas of it. So I'm gonna go with
Yeah,
the marathon. Yeah, for sure.
yeah, because then you come up with a theme.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
absolutely. Okay, let's see, The Haunting of Hill House or Penny Dreadful.
I haven't seen either of them except for I saw the
Okay.
new Haunting of Hill House, the new one, but I haven't seen the old one. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was
Mm.
good. It was good. I liked it,
Yeah,
but
it's
I,
good.
I haven't seen either of them. No.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Fair enough. An easy one here: An American Werewolf in London or The Howling.
Oh, that's easy. It's gonna be The Howling.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's The
so good.
Howling. I saw it on HBO when I was 12 years old or 13 years old.
Yeah.
I asked my mom if I could go over to her friend's house who had cable. We didn't have cable at the time because The Howling was coming on, and I had to see it. I had to
Yeah.
see what this was all
Oh my
about.
gosh. Yeah, it's so
And
good.
I watched it like as a 13-year-old, and I was just my mind blown, seeing the transformation. And I think
Hmm.
it's so much scarier than the Miracle of London. I really like Miracle of London, but
Hmm.
I think The Howling made just such a big impression on me. And also,
Absolutely. Yeah.
then many years later, well, not many years later, just a few years later after that, Joe
Yeah.
Dante, Joe
Mhm.
Dante, the director of The Howling, picked my special effects makeup that won a national makeup contest, that won me a trip out to Hollywood, where I got to meet everybody, including Joe Dante. And
Oh my gosh.
they flew me to the set of Inner Space. I got to go to the set of Inner Space and meet Martin Short and everybody. It
Oh,
was on set.
and Meg Ryan
And Meg
and
Ryan,
yeah, yeah,
everybody was there.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I got to meet everybody.
Dennis Quaid. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Robert Picardo was there. Robert Picardo, the guy that played Eddie Quist in The Howling, he was there. And I brought my magazines and had him autograph them, and he drew a little picture of Gizmo. Because I guess he also did the voice of Gizmo and the Gremlin. Yeah,
Yes, I
yeah,
did.
yeah,
I think I did know
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. And
Oh my
so,
God, you must have been in utter heaven.
oh yeah, no, it was here in Hollywood, and it's so funny because
Yeah.
I drive past that building all the time now. It was shot at a nightclub called at the time it was called the Palace, and I tell this
Okay.
story sometimes when I walk in on this when my mother and I were walked in on, because I was 15 years old when I came to when I won the trip,
Mm.
when we walked in on the set, we opened up these big bay doors to walk in, and the set flooded with daylight. It was supposed to be a nightclub, and it ruined the shot. And they're like, cut, cut, cut. And then we're like, what's going on? And then we walk in, and
Hey everyone.
yeah, this is the kid. This is the kid that won the special effects contest. Come over here and sit in this chair. And it was the art director. So I went and sat in the art director's chair. And I remember the art director
Oh
looked
my
over at me,
God.
gave me a side eye, like, ugh, whatever, And then Joe Dante came
Mm.
over and talked to me, and it was fun. Yeah, yeah,
Oh my gosh. Well, congratulations. What a memory to have.
yeah, yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Um, Gosh, I'm still processing that. I've got a few more here. Would you rather go on a camping trip or a luxury cruise?
Ooh, luxury cruise. I like my creature comforts, and I haven't never been on a luxury
Yeah,
cruise. I've been
I
camping
haven't
before with
either.
family
Yeah,
and stuff, but a luxury
yeah.
cruise does sound good. Yeah, I wouldn't
Mm.
mind doing that. Yeah,
Right, right. And camping trips, as you
yeah.
know, we've seen a lot of them films. Do not always, they don't always end well.
I don't like
Um,
bugs. I don't like bugs. I just
yeah,
I don't like
yeah,
bugs and bug
yeah.
spray and this and
And,
that and
and even if it's a cabin in the woods, there's still bugs in the cabin.
bugs. Yeah.
Okay, Clive Barker here, Nightbreed or Lord of Illusions?
Oh, that's easy. I just watched Lord of Illusions last night or the night before. Yeah, Lord
Yeah,
of Illusions. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, yeah,
that's
yeah.
good. That's
I met
good.
Clive Barker before he was famous here in Hollywood at a bookstore called The Golden
Oh,
Apple. He was signing books. This was 1985.
was it Book of Blood?
Right,
Was that
right. Yeah, yeah, Book of Blood, Volume 1 and 2.
the
And
first
I
volume
bought them.
one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And
You have signed copies.
I had
Wow.
signed copies of him before he was famous. I think he had just had Rawhead Rex come out. And it wasn't until
Okay. That's a good
1987
one.
that Hellraiser came
Mhm.
out, right? It's like a year later, Hellraiser
Oh
came
yeah.
out. And
Put
he
him
was
on the
before,
map. Right.
this was
Yeah.
before he was famous. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. I loved
Yeah.
Lord of Illusions. I think they did a really good
Yeah, me
job with
too.
it. Yeah, yeah, it's
Scott
fun.
Bakula. That's a good
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
Let's see. Would you want to spend a night at the Overlook Hotel or go cave diving in the Descent?
Oh God, that's easy. The Overlook Hotel. I do not want to go spur in my life,
Yeah.
not even
And those
once.
are the
Yeah,
monsters in the descent. Yeah,
yeah.
stay away.
I
Stay
don't
away.
like. I don't. I'm very claustrophobic. It's tight
Mhm.
spaces. I don't want anything to do with that. Yeah.
Even watching that film makes me anxious.
Oh
Right?
yeah, yeah,
Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay,
yeah.
four more. Society from 1989 or The Stuff from 1985.
The stuff I saw this stuff in the theater too. Yeah, Larry Cohen. I got a chance to one of the very first red carpets I ever walked. I was so terrified to go. I was like, ugh, I don't want to have to dress up and then go across
Yeah,
the red
yeah.
carpet. Everybody's going to be there and I'm going to look like a fool because I don't have anything to wear and blah, blah, blah. And then sure enough, I did it. It was amazing. And there at the end of the red carpet was Larry Cohen not waiting to shake my hand, but he was there chatting with
Yeah, sure.
a couple of other people. And I saw him and I went right up to him to say hello. And I said, "Man, can I get my picture with you?" And he said, "Yes." And it was just a lovely interaction. But yeah, I love this stuff. Yeah. Yeah. It's one of my favorite. I love that shot in the film. It's like a full set and they turned it sideways and the mattress
Yes, the
opens up and all that
stuff
stuff comes
flies
up.
against the
Yeah. It
wall. Oh
hits.
my
Yeah. Yeah.
God, it's
Yeah. The
fantastic. Yes,
practical effects.
I'm
Yeah.
right there with you. And we just got a 4K release of the stuff, which looks it's like experiencing it again for the first time.
Yeah.
I
Wonderful.
highly recommend it.
Wonderful.
Three more, Extra from 1982 or The
Easy.
Kindred from
You know,
1987.
is extra for sure.
Extra, yeah.
When I was in 1983 when I saw that on VHS, because it's
Mm,
a UK, I didn't see it in the theater.
yeah, yeah.
I put it on VHS. It was a Sunday evening, and
That's a good one.
My grandparents were over eating dinner with my family. My parents were there. I put it on in the room. Within the first 15 minutes, a woman gives birth to a full-grown man,
Hmm.
and my mother looked over at the TV and said, "Turn that shit off." And so I went over and turned it off, and I'm like, "Yep, I'm gonna watch this one." Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I'll be watching this
yeah,
later.
yeah. That
Yes,
was great.
yes.
Yeah, that movie literally changed my entire
It's
world.
so
So
good.
love
And
that
like the
movie.
little toy, they're like toy soldiers. It's like
There's a
toy
toy soldier that comes to life. Yeah,
comes
the
to
alien. Yeah,
life. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
All right, all right. Two more.
There's two endings
Go
to
ahead.
that film too. There's two endings to that movie. There's a UK ending and then there's an American ending, and they're completely
I
different.
think I knew that.
Yeah,
Um,
in the UK ending, the boy has been duplicated like 9 times already. That he came out of the eggs in the refrigerator, and they're waiting there in the white room at the end, and they got 4 people with like prosthetic or 9 people with like prosthetics, and some of them look alike, but so the boy's been duplicated 9 times
oh,
already to
I'll
go out
have
into
to
the
go
world.
back and check
Yeah.
it out. I
Eh,
have the 88 films copy. I bet it has. It's a British edition. I bet it has
Okay.
a UK
Yeah.
edition. I bet it has it. After
Um,
this, I'm gonna go check it out.
Okay.
Um, okay, I promise. Two more. Scanners or Videodrome?
They're kind of the same. I don't know
Yeah,
if I pick one of the.
they're
They both
they're
have the
very
same
similar.
impact.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're kind of the
Hmm.
same. It's about the same impact. But I didn't see Scanners in the movie theater. I did see Videodrome when it came out. I love both
Mhm.
films. Yeah, they're both
Yeah,
amazing
me too.
movies. Yeah,
Me too. I
yeah.
don't know if I could
Nothing.
choose.
I don't think I could choose.
Yeah, okay, I'm with you on that. All right, last one. The Halloween franchise or the Jaws franchise?
Oh wow. You know, I don't know, man. That's difficult. I mean, probably going to go with Halloween because of the
Mm,
fact that when I was 11 years old, Halloween came out, I think, no, 1978, 79,
78. Yeah, the first
78.
one. Yeah.
And when I was 11, which was sixth grade, I had my first
Okay.
Halloween party. I think my mother did it for me to be social. I wanted to have a Halloween party because I was
Mm,
very antisocial as a child. And I said, okay, but only if we get to play Halloween and make all the kids watch this rated R. So my mother had
yeah.
to like tell all the parents, if your child comes by, we're going to watch Halloween, this,
Yes.
whatever. And I got to meet Jamie Lee Curtis
Oh,
uh, about
oh,
15 years ago for the first time, and
wow.
she was so sweet and so kind. I was like, wow, this is the way it should,
Mhm.
this is real. This is amazing. This is the way life should be.
Oh
And
my
I
gosh.
told her, I said that opening shot where the camera comes up to the little boy and takes off the mask.
Yep.
When I
Hmm.
saw that in the theater, because I got the chance to see it later on in the theater, I said that changed my whole world, my whole perspective of being an adult and making films, and you and your
Yes.
kindness and being able to
Hmm.
celebrate your film when I was 11 years old. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Well, full circle.
yeah.
That's I can't believe you got to meet her. That's unbelievable. Wow. Well, those are my this or that questions for you, Joe. Thank you so much for talking with me today. Before I let you go, my one last question is, how can folks find you on social media if you want to be found?
That's an excellent question. People can find me on Instagram at Joe_Castro_director. I'm not there as much as I am on Facebook, which is
Mhm.
facebook.com/Joe.Castro. But I'm an easy find. Just Google Joe Castro and my stuff will
Excellent.
come up. But send me a friend request. But more importantly, send me a message and say hello. It's the best way for me to meet people. I believe that we should be social on social media. And if you want to see all
For
my
sure.
work, you can go to www.terrortoons.tv. And if you want to see all my work in my portfolio, you can go to joecastrofx.com.
I will flash all of that across the screen. Let's see if you are watching, like and subscribe because it helps my channel. And Joe, one last time, this has been amazing. Thank you so much for chatting with me today.
Th-
And I hope we
th-
get to do it again soon.
Thank you, Aaron, for having me on the show. Have a beautiful rest of your weekend, and we will talk more soon.
Absolutely. All right. Bye, everyone.